I'm gonna get my paper ready. Now, a thicker paper, if you have it, works better. And I also thought that I would read this book to you guys in a minute. And I thought, since we're doing paints and we got our watercolor up, and I'm not sure that everybody has thicker paper, I thought paper bags are thick and they go with our story, The Paper Bag Princess. So I thought, let's see if that works for my friends that need a thicker surface. I don't know, I've never done it, so let's try it together. So what I did for Paper Bag Princess is I took a little t-shirt and I laid it on top of my paper bag, and I took a pencil and I outlined it, because when I'm all done creating and painting, and I don't have to use paints on this, friends. I can use crayons and markers and colored pencils. I can use stickers. I can use whatever materials that I have at home that I want to put on this shirt. Now, let's go to that paper bag and see how that works, because I'm curious. I'm going to take my sponge, I'm going to stick it in my water, and I'm just going to kind of get it wet just like I did on my paper. Let me see how this goes. And I'm going to get that blue paint again just because I'm comparing. And I want to see how it's going to work on that paper bag. So I'm just going to paint. So we're going to let this sit for just a minute on this paper bag. Remember, it doesn't matter what we do. I'm going to try and show you my example. Here is a paper bag. I used a tank top as a template, and then I painted it. And if you did the watercolor activity with me, you will recognize our salt technique that I did down here. Now, not to worry, if you don't have watercolors, you can use crayons and color pencils and markers and stickers, or nothing at all. This is just a fun little activity if you would like to. Once it was decorated, I cut it out. I'm not sure if you can see here. There's the armhole, and then I have a neck hole. Took a little bit of creative cutting for families just to know. The Paper Bag Princess. This story is written by Robert Munsch, and the art is drawn by Michael Martchenko. All right, friends, if you did the watercolor activity with me, we talked about an activity to do with the Paper Bag Princess. So I would totally put this on if I thought it would fit me, but I don't think it will. So to all of my friends that are doing this, I hope you have fun wearing your paper bag. Without further ado, here we go. Elizabeth was a beautiful princess. She lived in a castle and had expensive princess clothes. She was going to marry a prince named Ronald. Unfortunately, a dragon smashed her castle, burned all her clothes with his fiery breath, and carried off Prince Ronald. Elizabeth decided to chase the dragon and get Ronald back. She looked everywhere for something to wear, but the only thing she could find that was not burnt was a paper bag. So she put on the paper bag and followed the dragon. He was easy to follow because he left a trail of burnt forests and horses' bones. Finally, Elizabeth came to a cave with a large door that had a huge knocker on it. She took a hold of the knocker and banged on the door. The dragon stuck his nose out of the door and said, "Well, a princess. I love to eat princesses, but I have already eaten a whole castle today. I am a very busy dragon. Come back tomorrow." He slammed the door so fast that Elizabeth almost got her nose caught. Elizabeth grabbed the knocker and banged on the door again. The dragon stuck his nose out of the door and said, "Go away. I love to eat princesses, but I have already eaten a whole castle today. I am a very busy dragon. Come back tomorrow." "Wait!" shouted Elizabeth. "Is it true that you are the smartest and fiercest dragon in the whole world?" "Yes," said the dragon. "Is it true," said Elizabeth, "that you can burn up 10 forests with your fiery breath?" "Oh, yes," said the dragon. And he took a huge deep breath and breathed out so much fire that he burnt up 50 forests. "Fantastic," said Elizabeth. And the dragon took another huge breath and breathed out so much fire that he burnt up 100 forests. "Magnificent," said Elizabeth. And the dragon took another huge breath. But this time, nothing came out. The dragon didn't even have enough fire left to cook a meatball. Elizabeth said, "Dragon, is it true that you can fly around the world in just 10 seconds?" "Why, yes," said the dragon, and he jumped up and flew all the way around the world in just 10 seconds. He was very tired when he got back, but Elizabeth shouted, "Fantastic! Do it again!" So the dragon jumped up and flew around the whole world in just 20 seconds. When he got back, he was too tired to talk, and he lay down and went straight to sleep. Elizabeth whispered very softly, "Hey, dragon." The dragon didn't move at all. She lifted up the dragon's ear and put her head right beside. She shouted as loud as she could, "Hey, dragon!" The dragon was so tired he didn't even move. Elizabeth walked right over the dragon and opened the door to the cave. There was Prince Ronald. He looked at her and said, "Elizabeth, you are a mess. You smell like ashes, your hair is all tangled, and you are wearing a dirty old paper bag. Come back when you are dressed like a real princess." "Ronald," said Elizabeth, "your clothes are really pretty, and your hair is very neat. You look like a real prince, but you are a bum." They didn't get married after all. All right, friends, thank you for reading The Paper Bag Princess with me, Mrs. Bean.